Steve Sax, along with very special guests today for Sax and The Voice, our inaugural broadcast. Steve, welcome.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks for inviting me.
It's a pleasure to have you and as a partner in crime in this, and we're fortunate to have three other players from a round one match in women in backgammon. We've got Jason and Gigi and Marianne, who was Steve's partner. Welcome, Jason, Gigi, and Marianne.
Well, Larry, I signed up for Sax in the Face, not Sax in the Voice. So I must be on the wrong show.
Oh yeah, sorry. So let's cut you off and we'll get to you later. Okay. And Jason's calling us from New York. Gigi, where are you located?
Malibu, California.
How nice is that? Look at you. You got the surfboards in the background.
Yeah.
You're ready to take off if once you win this match. All right. And Marianne, tell us where you are.
Right now, I'm in Germany visiting family. Normally, I'm in Washington, D.C. playing for the Northern Virginia Backgammon Club.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, it's great to have you all here. Steve has picked out a number of moves, and so he's going to tell me which ones to go to. And then we're going to discuss that, all of us, and this will take, we're not sure how long it's going to take, but it'll take however long it does, and hopefully we'll have a good time along the way. The goal of this is to be entertaining but enlightening, and it's not designed for experts. We're not going to look at these plays like, oh, it's at a .02 if you do this, and here's why, and that's, we're going to look at some pretty basic intermediate stuff, or it's not basic, it's intermediate stuff. It depends what your level of playing is, whether that's basic or not. I'm sure a lot of intermediate stuff I'd look at and say, wow, that's interesting. Okay, so let's go. For Steve, why don't you let me know which game and which...
Well, actually, I'm the one controlling the screen share, so I'm the one that's going to be putting it on the position we're going to be looking at.
Actually, I have the screen share, and so you need to tell me the game and the
okay,
and the move, and
okay.
I'll
So
go
game
there.
one, move 7,
and that's who's move 7. We want to look at
blue
whites.
is a 6-1 to play.
Okay, can you all see this?
Yep.
Fantastic. All right, let's go.
Doesn't look like a move 7 board.
That's opening move.
Mhm.
So I'm not seeing it, Larry.
Really? Maybe because I'm not sharing my screen. So, Steve, I apologize. You are sharing with the other participants. So you may go ahead and share your screen with them. Yeah, set it up your way.
Okay, does everybody see the 6-1 here for blue to play?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so Marianne and I, by the way, this was the women in backgammon, and it's the mixed doubles event. So it could either be a man and a woman or 2 women, but they can't have 2 men together. So, yeah, so Marianne and I, by the way, up until we lost to Kent Goulding and Karen Davis, we had not lost a match. We had won like 9 straight matches as partners. So we've done really well together. We won the Las Vegas doubles backgammon tournament. This was the first round of the, like I said, mixed doubles. Mary and I were partner, and Jason Briggs and Gigi San were the other team on the top here. It says Jay Briggs. So we had a 6-1 to play here, and Marianne, do you remember discussing this one and what play we should have made here?
Yeah, I just remember that I definitely wanted the play we made, 22-15, because I thought it would be more important to make a hit and keep them out a little bit longer.
Turns out
We
it's
were
the right
behind
play.
in the race, so that's why thought this was the right move.
Yeah, that's a reasonable idea, but it turns out it's wrong for a couple of reasons. One reason is when you go to the concluding portion of the play here, we have a worse board. They have a 3-point board. We have a 2-point board. So that could put us at some kind of disadvantage. They also have builders to hit us. They have 1s to hit here, 2s to hit here. Can you see the cursor, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
They have 3s to hit here and 4s to hit here. So the combination of factors of our side having a worse board and the diversification of numbers we are affording our opponents makes this the wrong move. Now, it's not a blunder, but it's incorrect. So if we're not going to make that play, what play would we make? Well, so if we're not going to come off the anchor, then this is a 4-6, 8-2, and then obviously you'd want to make the point here. So it turns out that this is the correct play right here of making the third point of our equalizing board strength and leaving them an ace shot. So it is a little bit of a problem leaving them an ace shot, but as you'll notice, if they hit, with an ace deuce or something, then they have to hit and break the anchor, and we might hit a return shot. Jason and Gigi, did you remember us having to make this play, and how did you feel about our decision? Did you feel like that was beneficial for you, that we gave you that opportunities, or did you think maybe we made the right play? Jason?
I do remember it because it seemed like sort of an unusual play, and I was happy that you did the play you did simply because it created a lot of action for us, a lot of volatility and action for us.
Well, if you were happy, it is clearly the wrong play. So
yeah, it's a long play, but that's the thing. That's the beauty about backgammon, is that you try your best. 90% of the time we make the correct plays, but it's a portion of the time we make the wrong plays, and hopefully we learn from it. So
now wait a minute, I got to jump in here.
Go ahead, Larry.
This is driving me crazy, this play, because if the score were 8-8, this is the wrong play.
If the score were 8-8, then you're saying hitting would be correct, right?
That's right.
Okay, yeah. So, and that's a legitimate observation. But as it turns out, we have to play under the context of what we're actually doing, and it's 0-0 to 9. So everything's available. Recubes available, gammons and backgammons are available. So
right. So I think that's, Steve, I think that's my point. In other words, the reason the right play is the right play is not because it gives you a better chance to win. Because actually, the play that gives you the better chance to win is to hit. But if gammons count, look at your gammons. They go up huge, bigly.
Well, our gammons are double.
So that's the reason that the right play is not to hit. But, hitting, a lot of times you increase your gammon chances, but you also increase your winning chances. And I would argue most of the time when you increase your winning chances, it's better to make that play even though when you increase your chances of getting gammon. This obviously is not one of those situations. So, but looking at the score and understanding the reason why this play is right, so the thinking over the board to come up with the right play is, I think we have a better chance to win the game if we hit. Yeah, that's true, but I think our gammons go so far up that it's not worth it.
Yeah, our gammon losses go so far up. Gigi, did you want to make a comment?
I agree with Jason, but I just thought it was bold, and I thought that there was a better play, which is the one, of course, that XG thinks is better. But that's just my take on it. I thought it was a bold move, and I saw the other opportunity, but I expect nothing but the best from the two of you.
So, Larry, Gigi mentioned that it was bold. Is it possible we can change our name of our show from Sax and The Voice to The Bold and the Beautiful? Or is that already taken?
I think there's a minor issue with that, which is the second adjective of the title. We need to find someone to ascribe that to, and I'm not sure either of us qualify.
That's fine. Okay, now we're going to go to the second move here under consideration. This was a 7-game match, and I picked 8 positions to look at. Hopefully we get through all 8, but if we don't, just we'll learn from whatever we can. So we have a double fives to play here, and the play that Marianne and I chose was to play kind of like safetying up a lot of blots. So the resulting position looks like this. We've made our 8-point. We put an active builder on the 8-point. The liability for the position is we have 2 blots in jeopardy, which are susceptible to being hit with an ace, a deuce, or a 3. So, Marianne, when we had this play to make, can you recall what you were thinking about the right decision would be?
I thought the mostly safe play was the right decision to make because we didn't make a 4-point board, but we had 4 points made within the zone. So I thought that would be a good thing. And our Gigi and Jason only had 3 points. So if we were to get hit, we would have been able most of the time to come out.
That's true. Okay, so the play that actually XG likes is this play, where you just make the 3-point and bring a builder down. And so,
yeah,
Marianne, why do you think this is the correct play instead of the play we made? We made a blunder.
gives us a 4-point board, and we only have all three. I'm only an intermediate player, so I have to count loud. Okay, all threes, ones and twos. Only 11, 13 shots, and with the other one, there would have been many more shots. I think that's why this is the correct play.
Okay, so let me, before I ask the others, I think that this is the correct play, number one, because you're making a 4th point in your board. But number two, the hits that White has here are a little bit risky. I mean, if they hit off the 18 point, like with a 3-1 or something, that's a pretty risky opportunity. And if they hit inside, mostly they're not going to point on us. So let's just say they roll
Double twos.
like a 6-1 and hit, then we have opportunities to hit and come back in. So I think that the hits are risky for them, and we've made a stronger board. Whereas the play that we chose to make, this is a pretty free hit with the 3 here. There's not much jeopardy involved in that. And we're also denying ourselves the extra point in the board. So, Gigi, what did you think about this double fives here?
The play that you made, I thought it was more, like you were trying to play safe and cover, but it clearly was the better move to make the 3-point in your home board instead of the one that you made.
Sorry to interrupt you, Gigi. What did you think, Jason, at the time? Did you think, wow, they really missed an opportunity, they should have done this? Did you think this was right, or do you think maybe another play was?
I thought that it was too passive, but the flip side of that is that over the long run, obviously, Gigi and I are big underdogs here, so maybe that was the strategy, that you didn't want to get in too many positions that were highly, that were scary positions. So maybe that was the thing where Gigi and I, our objective was to play more aggressively and try to shorten the match. Maybe the reason this play was maybe would have been right was because you want to lengthen the match. Gigi and I want to shorten the match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a reasonable strategy, and that's worthy of more discussion, but not necessarily like at this time. We're going to do a full analysis of that, but Jason brings up an excellent point. When the one team is stronger than the other one, as Jason very succinctly pointed out, you want to, theoretically the stronger team, you want to play as many games as possible. And if you're the underdog, you want to play as few games as possible. Larry, do you have an observation you want to share at this point?
I do. I always do, Steve. You know me. So
What about you?
I would argue the major reason that the right play is the right play is that it leaves only 2 blots versus all the other plays that leave 3.
Wait a minute. This is the correct play that leaves 3 blots.
This also leaves 3 blots.
And the incorrect play leaves 2 blots in jeopardy. So.
Sorry. Okay, wait. All right, good. Wait, hang on. Let me see. So 2 blots.
We can edit this, believe me, in post.
Oh, I'm completely wrong. So the wrong play is to leave 2 blots, and the right play is to leave 3. All right, this is good.
Yeah, and as I pointed out, it was just the reason that the hits are somewhat precarious for them if we do this, and they have a pretty liberal hit with the 3 here that doesn't have to expose them to additional risk. All right, let's go on to the next one. That'll be game
Steve,
3.
hang on, hold it. I want to explore this a little bit more, if I can. Sorry. So, if we're going to leave, if we decide making that 4th point in our home board looks like the most important consideration of all, then it's just a question of, okay, how do we play the last 5? And what it looks like is we're trying to duplicate as many numbers as possible. So the best play does that, where you have 1s and 2s and 3s, and that's it, basically.
Yeah, the 3s are duplicated, but mostly the hit won't come from this side here. It's 6-3, obviously you can escape and hit, but with 3-2, well, double 3s is a joker. They're just going to make the 2 and the 15 point. That just destroys us. But, like 3-1, they probably just have to double hit on the outside, hit on the inside. So there is some risk involved, in them. And that was one of the points I made of this being the correct play, is that if they do come up with a hitting play that comes off the 18 point, that could put them at, significant risk.
Okay.
So
Great.
on to the next move number 3. We're making good time here. Move number 3, which is in game 3. Move here. This is a good one here. Okay, so this is a play that Jason and Gigi had, a 3-2. And the play that they chose to make was to split both back checkers, which doesn't seem entirely unreasonable based on the fact that the attack is a little bit thin. They have a point pass where they're going to be attacking. So, and they don't have an active builder on the 8 point. They don't have that many. We don't have that many numbers to attack their checkers with. So it seems reasonable, but it's actually the incorrect play. And the correct play is to sit back on the anchor and just build it. So, Jason, what was your reason in choosing?
Yeah, I take full responsibility for this one. This is not Gigi's call; it was my call. The reason I liked it was whenever you're 8 point strip, it's an invitation to come up, obviously, and I just thought that with the same sort of tenor as we talked about before, we need to play with more aggression. I kind of like the obviously I like because I was behind the play, even though I appreciate it was not the right play. I thought it was a more aggressive play, going 24-22, 24-1, 21 coming out. Because even if we got hit, we're gonna have all sorts of return shots, and I just like the play. I would do it over the board again, even though I appreciate it's not the strongest play. I think coming down allows you time to develop and build the 5-4 3 point as we're sort of stuck back there. I like the idea of sort of pressing the issue and coming up.
Gigi, what do you think about the your choice on the 3-2 there?
Well,
you're off the hook because Jason took full responsibility.
I realize that, and I deferred to him on that because I actually agreed with him on it. However, I thought at first to bring the builders down on the 11 and the 10 so we could get that golden point and bring some more into the zone. But we were, with Jason's defense, we're 4 games down. We were a 7-way 3-way, right? So more or less, I think that he was trying to get us out and moving and not worrying about builders at the moment. So that's my take.
Okay, I have some more observations, but first I'd like to ask Larry, what do you think about this move here?
So I was talking with Chris Trencher not too long ago, Grandmaster.
Oh, by the way, the best player never to win an ABT event.
Oh,
That's right.
He's a fantastic player.
Yeah, he's one of the best players in the country, if not the world. And so we were discussing some opening moves. Chris and I have done some videos together. We did the Connecticut Barbecue Open, where we both drank beer and smoked cigars and drank wine, and got over 1,000 views for that without any advertising. It was pretty funny. And Chris thought, wow, that was great. Anyway, you can't live off 1,000 views. Hopefully Steve will, with our esteemed guests, will garner a lot more than that. But what Steve was telling me is we were talking about 6'4", and Chris had a funny story. He said, well, Victor Ashkenazi, who's also like arguably the best player in the United States.
No argument. No argument from
No,
me.
that would be Steve Sax. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you, Marianne. My biggest fan. But no, Victor is one of a kind.
And so Victor plays, if he doesn't know the player and he gets an opening 6-4, he doesn't care what the score is. He could be gammon save or gammon go or just a regular race. He's going to make his 2 point. And the reason he does it is because a lot of players have not studied the responses to an opening 6-4, and they often split their backmen. It's almost never right to split your backmen. Sometimes with a 6, never with anything else, just I believe, with your backmen. And so Victor would gain much more of an advantage than he would lose by misplaying the opening 6-4. But against Chris knew the right plays. And Chris said after a while, Victor stopped making the 2 point when he was playing Chris. So it's just an interesting story. But, this is counterintuitive. Jason, all of us are taught. Marianne, we're all taught. Look, split your backman to when the 8-point is stripped. It's counterintuitive. So in this type of position, it's just good to know you don't split the backman. If you have a 6, you can do it. But otherwise, or 6-4, you want to make your 2-point. But otherwise, you'd run with that guy. But
Right,
here's
Larry.
the thing: you could look at
when I
all
saw
the
that
different
play-
roles. What's that?
But when I saw that play, I hadn't honestly never seen this play in the opening roll, basically. And I was like, why would they do that? Shouldn't they make the 11 and 10 point? Because I still think that it is much better to start building, having your builders up there and being able to make your board. There's only a 2-point board here, the 6 and the 2, and why do you need to run out? You have plenty of time to run out. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, one quick thing there. I think the idea of it was not to, take my ball and run home. It was not the escape part of it. It was sort of the, getting back to the action part of it, that we were down. I wanted to play aggressively. I wouldn't really have minded getting hit or even pointed there if we had some return shots. I just felt like at this score we had to play hyper aggressively, and therefore I would have done it. At a benign score, I would never have done it.
Okay, let me just share my last observation on this move. Okay, so the reason I like this play, or I mean XG likes it, and I also like it for a particular reason, is that first of all, you don't get hit that often. You get it with 5, 4, 6, 3 double C's and 6, 4. That's 7 numbers, and the double threes, that's kind of a waste actually to hit there. So it's even less. But the point is that the reason you don't split now is because it'll be easy to split later. Since we have made our 2-point, then this is like sort of a Grand Canyon right here. And this is like, we don't have many builders like set up to make further blocking points. So they can just calmly bring 2 down here. And if we don't hit, and we're 80% not to hit, then they're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 builders to make the 7-point, 1, 2, 3, 4 builders to make the 5-point, 3 builders to make the 4-point. They're going to be a huge favorite to make one of those points in the next roll. And once they establish some kind of offensive point on their own side, then they can start to think about splitting later. Of course, it's a back and forth thing because, if we're going to be doing this, then they're going to be, either if they're not hitting, they're going to be bringing offensive builders down to make their points. But since it's going to be so easy to split in the future, they're better off going for making the offensive play at this moment.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the next one. So that is a couple of moves later. That is move, let's see what I had written down, 3-4, 6. Oh, it was just the cube action here. Okay, so we doubled, and it's, we're trailing, no, sorry. Oh, we're trailing 4-0. So we doubled, and they passed. It's a small take here. So I guess, Jason, I would like to first ask you, what were you thinking when we just sent the cube here?
Sorry, Steve, you asked me one more time?
Yeah, so we doubled as blue. We're trailing 4-0. And you have an anchor, and you're not likely to get hit. We can only hit with 6-4, but we're ahead almost 50 pips in the race, and we have a prime developed and a board developed. So it's a pretty imposing double here. I probably would have passed as well, especially leading 4-0, but it turns out it's technically a take. So I was going to ask you, like, you and Gigi, what are your thoughts about, deciding whether to take or pass here?
Yeah, Gigi, why don't you take it away, and then I'll go after you.
I will. This was my blunder, not Jason's, so I will own up for this one. It's not a blunder.
It's only a small error. Either direction is a small error.
Okay, so it was my call. He asked me what I thought, and it was my mistake. We discussed it after, Jason. This was the one that we discussed. You said, I think we should have taken that cube. Yeah, I don't know why I did this, Steve. I really can't answer that logically as to why. I just didn't feel it was a good take.
Jason, what? So you guys decided to drop this, and do you think it was attributed to the fact that we were up 50 pips, we had a better board and a better prime, and
definitely.
And so that's your call, Gigi, and Jason, you feel the same way?
I just think that I would have preferred taking it simply for the reason that we hit on before, which is I want to shorten the match, and I think taking it we had a reasonably good chance of getting the game, and therefore I didn't want to play a lot more games. I wanted to try to shorten it.
Okay. Anyway, so like I said,
So,
this is only a small mistake. Who was that
but for the
just?
people like me who are not sure why this would be a take, I mean, if I look at that and I try to figure out should I pass this or take this, I'm going to do Pratt, and Pratt tells me position I'm behind, race I'm behind, I have no direct threats. I think I should pass. So, Steve, can you get a little bit more into why it would have been better to take this?
Okay.
Stevie, can I touch on that for 5 seconds and you take over? I think it's simply a product of the score.
Yeah, and that's exactly the point I was just going to bring up, Jason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this position here, and I'm going to change the score to 0-0. And I'm not saying with assuredness that it's going to be a pass, but I think it's more likely to be a pass. And let's just take a look at the, because it's a fairly involatile position. It might still be a take. Oh, okay, yeah, so it's, okay, that's right, because it's 0-0.
It's take.
So this would be a super easy take at 0-0, but then leading 4-0 makes it like a close call. If they were hit 5-0, there's a reasonable chance to be a pass. So no, it's still a take. So let's see how far up. This is one of the things I teach my students all the time. We go to
I thought I was wrong. I'm
but
glad.
it finally becomes a pass when they're leading 6-0. But at 4-0 was a small take. So Jason's correct. It really had a lot to do with the score. Okay, let's get back to the match.
Good one, Jace.
Okay, Larry, did you want to have an observation before we go to the next position?
Just a quick comment here. You know, when you're calculating your probability of winning a game like this, you're going to race, or you look at the different game plans. Our probability of winning, Brown's probability of winning in the race is really small, like 5%. So the only way they're going to win, which is most of the time, is either by priming, somehow trapping that back checker, or hitting. And there is opportunity for hitting because the hole on the 5-point and White's position is, kind of sloppy and a little stripped. So the likelihood of a shot is high, and that's where I think the probability comes in, saying, hey, actually, we could win this game with a joker or two. And that's that. So I'll just leave it at that for my comments. Like, it's not a hopeless position.
Yeah, in any case, so they dropped here, and then we won another point, and now we get to game 5 here. We're at the halfway point. So game 5, move 2. This is an interesting one here. It's super interesting because this is the kind of thing that comes up all the time. Whether to run or make your own 5-point when you roll a 6-5. You can safely run. You'll still have your builders develop to make the point on the next roll, and you'll have escaped a piece, or you can make the 5-point and say, well, I'll just try and get out later. And so the play chosen by Team Briggs GG is they chose to run here. And I'd be on the fence on that one. I wasn't sure what was right, but Gigi, what do you think? Why did you end up making the running play?
More habitual, but I think because it was the last man bat, right? So I mean, I was thinking it was best to get out instead of make the point, because we had plenty of time to make the point, and hoping that you weren't going to hit me with a 6-4. And when you come out, so that was just my feeling was run now while you can.
Right. So there's something I also teach my students is I say do the harder thing first. When you have 2 plays of a seemingly equivalent value, you do the play that's harder to do first, because you can do the other one later. That falls apart only because when you make this play, you're susceptible to being hit by